In which direction will the market head this week? What's going to happen? Are we going to have a breakdown to the downside, or are we going to have continuation of the bull market move? Will the crypto finally continue its bullish momentum, or do we still see another fake out? Let's find out in this video. Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Dan, and as usual I'll be showing you weekly analysis of the market, crypto, stock market, everything that's going on, that's happening, my personal predictions and views on what's going to happen this week. And today is beautiful Monday morning. I'm still having my coffee, okay? Beautiful. I hope you do too. And by the way, Monday is usually a day where people are like, oh, I can't, because most of the people go to work, right? And they're like, oh, broken. Like, listen, you have to focus. You have to do it. Monday is the day when it's the hardest, and that's the day where you're gonna be the baddest mofo, okay? You have to push the hardest on Monday. Just because it's the hardest day of the week, you have to push the hardest. You have to break it, okay? Don't let it break you. You break Monday. Now, okay, with this motivation talk, I'm not David Goggins, I'm not Joe Rogan, but with this motivation talk, let's get into the charts and get hyped up and ready to see what's ahead of us, what's in this market. As always, of course, we're going to be starting with the NASDAQ 100 technical analysis, okay? I know a lot of lines, guys. I understand there's a lot of lines on the chart, but don't worry, when I zoom in, it doesn't look that bad, okay? So weekly chart of NASDAQ. Finally, we are seeing a smaller correction or a pullback on NASDAQ. However, I spoke in the last video, I really don't like this correction. I think it should be way bigger, and I wanted to see bigger breakdown to the downside. And I would like to see it come back, as I've already told you in the last video, somewhere at around 14,680 first. So I would like to see NASDAQ break down first to this level, and then finally to go and break down to 14,250 and stay at this level. And then so basically it will be moved like this. Just give me 1 second. So it will be break down to this level, come back maybe up, and then break down here again, and then maybe consolidate, continue to the upside, if we're going to continue to the upside, okay? If no further breakdown is necessary. In my personal opinion, again, I would really love to see a breakdown all the way to 13,300, because this AI hype move would need to be cleansed, in my opinion, and then build from here and then continue all the way up from that scenario. Now, so basically currently we're sitting at around 15,040 at the moment, and I'm gonna zoom in even further on a daily chart. So you see these big rejection candles over here. This is a bearish sign, okay? So this looks bearish to me, and this level over here is just one thing that's keeping us alive. So if we finally break this level down, then we're going to break definitely to 14,650. Now, what we could see if we have some good news this week, and I'm gonna talk about news later on, we could see a continuation move, like a rising flag move, which is basically we accumulated these levels, which we are kind of doing. We are, you know, accumulating for something, for next big move. Where is it gonna be, to the upside or the downside? I don't know. I can only guess, the same as you. It's a 50-50 prediction. Either it's gonna go up or it's gonna go down. So we are equal. Everybody here is equal in this playing field. It's either gonna go up or down. Whoever is right, whoa, they can brag that they guessed. Now, our educated guess would be that we expect it to break down to the downside, because all the news are gone, all the hype is gone, treasury is being rebuilt, everybody's gonna keep taking profits, I mean the big companies, and putting them into bonds, into safer places, right? Because this hype has been overstretched on NASDAQ at least. But it doesn't have to be. If they say that they think that we should continue the bull run, I mean, we follow them. We follow the big money. Follow the big money. They're telling you this is the chart of big money, mostly combined with some retail traders, right? So whatever they tell you, you follow. So anyways, at the moment, as I already told you, just to zoom it, let's say on the 4-hour chart, what we can see over here on the 4-hour chart, let me just do it something like this, is creation of this very nice squeezing triangle, descending triangle, whatever you want to call it, okay? So this is what I see, this descending triangle, which usually goes and breaks to the downside, right? Goes and breaks to the downside. So are we going to see a move like this? Are we going to see a breakdown to the downside? I don't know. As I already told you, we might accumulate, because you see this area over here has been holding on pretty strong. We might accumulate, fake out to the downside, grab some liquidity just to continue a big move to the upside. Now, what I would love to see, this is just my personal expectations, what I would like to see is, if we're going to go to the upside, I would like to see just some fake bump to somewhere over here at the previous highs at around 15,400, create double top, and then boom, just go blast down from there. Now, what would my trades be this week? This week I would be looking at a couple of things. Let me just choose this one. So first, obviously, would be something like the descending triangle, where we do something like this. Okay, so this would be my first trade to the downside. I would be looking at us going squeezing into this level, into this demand zone, boom, break it, come back, retest it, go all the way down. So I would be selling Nasdaq in a retest of a break of this zone at around between 15,000 and 14,965. So that would be the first thing that I would do. What I would like to see for a long position, okay, would be something like this: break out above all these EMAs, okay, retest again the EMA 50 and the EMA 20, make them into a support, and then just continue going higher. So this would be my long play. So basically, for short position, I would like, as I told you, I would like to see a breakdown to the downside immediately, and then just accumulation in this area for a further leg down, or break to the upside, stay above the EMAs, be very strong in this area, stay above the EMAs, and boom, after the market open or later on during the week, just break to the upside. So basically, we need to follow Nasdaq, because we are now in the area where it's kind of unknown. So you want to see, if you want to go long, you want to see it holding on this area, and if it breaks down below this area, then look for short opportunities. So go long at around 15,100 if we stay above it, if we're really strong, and go short in the 15,000 area. So 15,100 for long if we break above and stay, and for short somewhere between 15 and 14,960. Now indicators, I'm not gonna go over them. As I told you, they don't work at the moment. They broke down. So yeah, now Bitcoin, okay, again, a lot of lines on Bitcoin, guys, I'm sorry, but I don't want like to be the person of one of those gurus who has a billion predictions and says, I told you so, but I told you so. What did I say in the last video? And if you haven't watched my previous video, please go ahead and watch it, previous weekly analysis. I told you that we might see this move happening, okay? So this is exactly what happened. I said that if we hold this area of 25K, which we did, that this move right over here is possible to happen, and exactly that's what happened. Boom, boom. We exploded to the upside, because of course none of these moves is just purely technical. Everything has an explanation. All these moves happen because of the BlackRock filed for ETF, Bitcoin spot ETF fund, followed by all the other big players. Like, so many of them actually got applied for the Bitcoin spot ETF. BlackRock we spoke about BlackRock. They will get the ETF fund approved, okay? So they are the ones who are going to get this fund approved, and they're the ones who are going to push crypto onto the next level. The biggest player in the industry, they will push crypto into the next level. 100K is going to be nothing on Bitcoin. 150K is very possible in the next bull run, in my opinion. Once we have some regulation, once this fight with SEC and Binance and Coinbase is over, once we get some regulation in the US, once everybody goes back to the US, we're gonna explode with Bitcoin. They don't actually, the companies don't even need to go back to the US. We just need some kind of regulation in the US. We need Gary Gensler to be gone, and crypto will go to the next level. Anyways, let me just zoom in on a daily chart. So basically, I told you I was long Bitcoin from somewhere around 25K. I almost caught the bottom. So now this I don't like, okay? These wicks and forming of this double top over here, It's something that I don't really like. I don't like to see this. This might tell us that we can easily go back, form a double top and go back to 26,000 whatever, and then we can actually break down further to 20k if this is the double top pattern, okay? But let's see. But what I think that this is just, you know, reaccumulation for the next move up, and I believe that we will see 40,000 Bitcoin before we see 20,000 Bitcoin. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but if we manage to held through all the bad news with this much of strength and end up again at around 31,000, then I mean, I don't see what kind of news can shake us to go back to 20k. Unless, okay, I know what kind of news could shake us up. The only news that can put us back down, like a big leg down, is BlackRock and all the guys getting rejected for the ETF fund. That's the first thing. Empty Gox, remember, don't forget those things. Empty Gox creditors dump all their Bitcoin at once when they get it back in somewhere September, October, whatever is the repayment day. I spoke about it in the previous videos. So BlackRock and all the big players getting rejected ETF. Empty Gox dumping all their Bitcoin at once, together with the US government dumping all their Silk Road Bitcoin. So government as well has, I don't know how many billions of Bitcoin. So if all these things happen together at once, which usually how, as Andrew Tate would say, Matrix operates, is they operate these things together, like they synchronize them. So if they dump all these things at once, this is the only catalyst for a big downside or big correction that I see, in my personal opinion, for crypto and for Bitcoin. The only thing. Now, if none of those happens, or each one of those happens separately, gradually, whatever, that's not gonna shake up crypto. That's not gonna shake up Bitcoin. So, but pay attention that these narratives, you know, can be created very, very easily in the crypto world. Anything can move crypto nowadays, which I don't like, but yeah, it is what it is. It's just a trillion market cap is very easy to be moved around. So that'll be all for Bitcoin. Let's just move in to some news and wrap these things up. This week's reports: Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing so interesting. Core durable I cannot even speak anymore. Core durable goods orders. Let me take some coffee. Core durable goods orders. Yes, exactly. Now, CB consumer confidence, new home sales. All these things are quite important, but not really for us. Then Wednesday, I mean, they are important. Sorry, I have to go back. They are important for the economy. So CB consumer confidence, like overall economy of the US. New home sales, you need to see how is the housing market. These things do matter, but on NASDAQ, they don't really affect it that much. It more affects S&P 500, okay? Now, Wednesday, Fed Chair Powell again speaks, again testifies. Crude oil, we don't care. Now, on Thursday, again, Chair Powell, but on Thursday, we do have big news. GDP, okay? Again, pay attention to GDP. Is gonna tell us what's going on with US and the recession. Initial jobless claims, pending home sales, okay? This is just a standard report. Jobless claims, by the way, were ticking higher and higher for the last, I don't know how many reports. Let's see it real quick. So initial jobless claims were ticking previous. So we had three surprise reports higher. So the last three were ticking higher, okay? So initial jobless claims are increasing. This is the sign of us going into a recession, okay? Now, let's move on. Friday, the most important report for the Fed, which is PCE index, okay? So we had CPI report, I think last week or the week before that, but then now we have PCE report, which is gonna tell us how the inflation is moving in the US. If this report remains very stubborn, and if PC reports remains same or higher, I think this is going to be very bearish for us, okay? So this is one of the possible bearish catalysts, or of course on the other hand, if it's way better, then it's possible bullish catalyst. And it's going to be Friday, so it's going to be very high volatility day. Now, let's move on to some news just real quick to wrap this up. Dow futures just lower, Russian uncertainty waits ahead of key inflation release. So if you're following the macroeconomic news and if you saw what's happening in Russia, basically there was some destabilization within Russia, and this of course affected the market, the oil, the wheat futures, etc. Now, PCE price index looms large. The weakness, which followed a significant rally over the last couple of months, came after Federal Reserve Jerome Powell made it clear that, in his view, the U.S. central bank is likely to hike interest rates a couple of more times this year, depending on economic data. And then the week main focus released by Friday's May Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index (PCE). In the 12 months through April, the PCE price index as well as the core rate were still running well above 2% target, and the main numbers will feed into investors' expectations, blah blah blah. So basically, a summary of this is just pay attention to PCE report, higher or lower. That's it. Don't read all this stuff. Russian turmoil keeps market on edge. Investors will be keeping a wary eye on events in Russia, blah blah blah. Now, this is an important one. Goldman downgrades Tesla from buy to neutral. So Goldman says, listen, Tesla had a huge run, the best run ever, I think. You're good, everything is fine, but now you're no longer a buy, you're now neutral, okay? So they downgraded them from buy to neutral. Now oil just higher, growth worries remains. Again, it's all connected to Russia and what's happening in the macro environment. So I don't see us having that optimistic environment to just continue this bull market, all the way to the upside. But anyway, let's see. Now, crypto news, of course. Bitcoin ETF fever returns. Biggest inflow to ProShares BITO in a year. ProShares BITO Bitcoin ETF saw a weekly inflow of 65 million as institutional investors have seemingly regained their mojo for Bitcoin futures. Now, as you can see, as I already spoke about it, Bitcoin pushed by BlackRock spot ETF, and now we have these leveraged ETFs. Just let me see. So Volatility Shares Trust aims for listing of leveraged Bitcoin futures ETF. So we have a lot of good news now for crypto. Actually, this is one good news, not a lot of good news, but one really good news is that the big players are coming back very, very hardcore into crypto. And even Jerome Powell said crypto is here to stay. So we see now that crypto is here to stay, and we know it. So guys, I hope you've been accumulating. Just continue accumulating. Even the altcoins, trust me, some of the altcoins will go down the drain, unfortunately. One of them will have to suffer, and I believe it's going to be some of the bigger players like ADA or Matic or whatever. I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm not gonna name, but it's just a guess. I think there will have to be one sacrificial lamb. But the good thing is there's hundreds of thousands of coins. So you just need to be very well informed and lucky and explore your way and buy a couple of good coins, hold them, you will be very well set off in the next bull run. So yeah, and with this being said, I will be wrapping up our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Follow me for more, of course. Every single week we're doing this before the US market opens. And just to wrap up, my final thoughts. I do believe we expect again continuation of the cool down movement. If we do have a move to the upside, I do believe it's going to be a fake move to the upside, just to trap more longs, like a final trap, okay? This is for the stock market, right? And as for the crypto, I really do think that we are slowly continuing and building into the bull market. Now, as I already told you, couple of things can maybe push us back a little bit down with these, as I've told you, MT Gox repayment and the US government dumping their Bitcoin. So this might be a potential catalyst for a little bit correction in crypto, but I do believe next stop 40k, then if we break down to 30k, 28, whatever, and then just continue blast off to the new highs. That could happen easily beginning of the next year, of course, if everything aligns together with the Fed and together with their policies. And we're gonna be following everything and keep you updated as always. Now have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.